This segment is sponsored by Elevate Springfield. Welcome back to Marketplace for this week's Make It Happen Monday with Robert Farrell. We sat down to discuss Elevate Springfield's new podcast guest this week. Each Monday, they launch a new one. And today is a very special guest to the Springfield community, so let's go learn more. It is time for another Make It Happen Monday with Robert Farrell right here on News Channel 20 Marketplace. Robert, it's Monday. What does Elevate Springfield have going on today?
Absolutely. Great episode. We have Illinois State Senator Doris Turner today. So we talked a lot about leaving a legacy. We talked about elevating our community through legislation. And we also talked about kind of paving the way, being the first to do something and really opening those doors for others. And
she spoke a lot about, this is just a sneak peek for people, she spoke a lot about giving resources to communities and providing resources for our Central Illinois community. Did she touch on any of the specific ways that she is doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So she's done that in a number of ways in many of her different positions that she's had in the political realm. But one of the biggest ones, when she was on the city council, she talked about the 3% tax that went that's from recreational cannabis, and 1.5% of that goes to an east side district for economic development. So what that does is allows people to start a business, it allows people to expand, it allows people to hire additional staff.
Wow.
So it can really make an impact on the east side of Springfield, and it's done just that. And she's excited to see that continue to grow.
Through what? Through taxes on the cannabis?
Yeah, so anybody that buys recreational cannabis here, there's a 3% tax. 1.5% goes to pensions. The other 1.5% is right here in Springfield on the east side to go specifically toward economic development. The idea behind it was to assist with the folks that were primarily impacted by the war on drugs and drugs in general. So.
And what do you hope that people take away from this episode after they listen?
You know, one of the biggest things she talked a lot about, and she says it on the podcast, that she doesn't talk about it to toot her own horn, but she was the first black woman and in some cases the first black person in many of her political positions that she had. And she did it, she talks about it because she wants to open those doors for everybody else. She wants everybody to see that success is attainable for everybody. And I think we can take that in our personal lives, because when we see successful people, it's no longer impossible for any of us, right? So we can do that.
It's hard because a lot of people still do view it as impossible. Oh, well, they can do it, but I was born into the wrong family. They have connections, I don't have connection, but that's all excuses at the end of the day. But Doris, she really went and she broke down those barriers, and she wasn't going to let anybody tell her she couldn't do something.
That is exactly right, and I think we can utilize that in our own life.
It's kind of the brand of Elevate Springfield.
It is. I love it. And, she did that throughout her career. And where can we, in our lives, our personal lives and our professional lives, break down those barriers, open those doors for the next generation, and be the example moving forward to show people that success is possible for everyone and nothing is impossible if you actually take that action and put in the effort.
Well, Robert, before we go, for anyone who may just now be tuning in, what is Elevate Springfield, and there's a podcast that goes along with it, but what is the mission behind Elevate Springfield?
Yeah, so Elevate Springfield is a movement and a podcast attached to that. We want to be able to tell the stories of the folks that are elevating our lives here in Springfield. The idea behind the podcast is to bring actionable strategies. You guys bring the discipline and the follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. So there's a lot of great people in our area doing great things, and we want to bring that to light, and we want to push Springfield forward, because I know there are a lot of great things happening now, and there's a lot of things happening that are on tap for Springfield. I feel this boom coming for us right here.
I do too, Robert. I just think there's so many players in the game now, and so many people looking to better themselves and those around them. You guys can head over to robertfarrell.com to find today's episode. Every Monday, a new podcast is dropped, and today is State Senator Doris Turner. This truly is one that people do not want to miss.
No doubt about it.
Thank you, and go listen to the podcast at robertfarrell.com. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and be sure to watch more segments from Marketplace on News Channel 20.